What's up, gamers? This is That PlayStation Gamer. So yesterday we had Gamescom, and while there wasn't a lot of actual PlayStation news, man oh man, there were a lot of games. And I ain't gonna lie, this time around, I think it's because I kind of went into this, just looking for interesting games to play. I was like, damn, there's a lot here. Cyber Zoo, Cyber Zoo, for example. Warlock, that looks good. No Law, that looks good. Like, to me, there was just a lot of good games. I was like, you know what? I kind of want to start playing these games. Because after something like Blood of the Dawnwalker, I've kind of realized, you know what? I don't have to look to the AAA space. Let's look to the indies. And of course, one of probably the biggest indie, probably one of the most notarized or noticed indie studio out there is CD Projekt Red. Now, I don't know if people technically count CD Projekt Red as indie, but from what I could tell, it's like they kind of are self-run, they are kind of self-established, so that's their thing. So, of course, we knew at Gamescom, they would show off more of Witcher 3, Songs of the Past, sorry. And I was like, okay, so let's see some of that Witcher stuff. And I was like, well, we got a few things Witcher related. First off, they actually started off by announcing that Witcher 3 is getting a remaster treatment. And we're not talking a simple remaster like we've seen in the past with other studios. No, we're straight up talking like there is going to be some huge significant changes made. UI improvements, for example. The whole mutation system is going to be overhauled. Mod support for consoles. Thank you, CD Projekt Red. This is actually something I've been wanting the longest for The Witcher, because I know the Witcher community can be a little divided. There's some people who like what CD Projekt Red does. There's some people prefer the purity of the books. Now, you could add potentially, we don't know exactly how the system's going to work, but you potentially could add a little bit more lore accurate stuff if you are someone who fancies the books over the games. But wait, there's more. The remaster also will include both the critically acclaimed DLCs, Heart of Stone and Blood and Wine, which already, that's crazy, because that is probably a year's worth of content for the average gamer, and that's not just on top of what The Witcher 3 already offers to begin with. On top of that, and then Songs of the Past is coming out, and then it's like, oh, so how much is it going to cost? And it's like, it's free for everyone who owns a copy of The Witcher 3 right now. If you own a copy of The Witcher 3, or you decide to buy it at any time before the remaster comes out, which is September 29th, you get The Witcher 3 for free. In fact, I'm pretty sure if you bought the regular base edition of Witcher 3, you would still get it after the launch of it, because it seems like CD Projekt Red is like, hey, we want to reward our community. But then, on top of that, they just drop low-key that The Witcher 3 expansions, Blood and Wine and Heart of Stone, are right now free. You could go pick those up right now on PlayStation. You can pick them up on Xbox. You can pick them up on whatever you want for free. And that's like, how many companies do you hear actually do this? Like, these are big expansions. These are expansions that, like I said, they add hours and hours and hours and hours of content. And it's just for free. And it's like, so the best expansion, DLC you'll ever fucking play. And then, of course, then they show Witcher 3 Songs of the Past. And it looks really interesting. This apparently is a new area. It's actually about the same size as The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine, which is like, holy shit. They even announced before Gamescom happened, a couple days before, they kind of gave us like the idea roadmap of what they want to do for at least the next couple years. So basically, the remaster is coming out this year. That was their big surprise for everyone. And then they were like, okay, then next year you have Songs of the Past coming out for The Witcher 3. I'm going to guess, I'm throwing my hat in there. I'm going to say it's probably like $30. CD Projekt Red seems to be very fair when it comes to these expansions. So I'm very excited for this, because There's so much cool stuff they added, and there's going to be a new weapon. Then they have said they are targeting 2028 for the release of The Witcher 4, which is when basically Ciri takes over as the series protagonist. And what I like about what they did here is they didn't promise 2028. They just said we're just targeting it. This is the goal, but there's a chance we can miss it. I admire them for at least being transparent with us that, hey, things aren't, so doom and gloom. And hey, a studio can actually give a shit about the gamers and actually want to get people interested in their products. We know at some point there is going to be a Cyberpunk 2. Apparently the story goes on right now that basically the whole thing has been all eyes on Witcher 4. And they kind of have like a skeleton crew for now working on Cyberpunk 2, kind of just getting like a lot of, I guess you would say, the pre-work done. And don't forget also that there is Cyberpunk Edge Runner Season 2 coming out. So like, there's a lot of content coming from CD Projekt Red. And what I really admire about this is it all feels like it's organic. Like this was like their 2 IPs and they're going for it. They're going to try and make these the biggest IPs they can make them. And I'm excited to see where the Witcher series goes after The Witcher 3 and Songs of the Past, where Witcher 4 takes us. I want to see how this fucking chain weapon works and how Ciri gets it, because yes, I did notice that in the Witcher 4 trailer, is that Ciri had the chain weapon that Geralt has in Songs of the Past. So what's going on there? But yeah, it's a good time to be a CD Projekt Red fan. I would actually safely say right now CD Projekt Red is probably my favorite developer. And they're kind of putting the rest of the game industry to shame. When everyone else is being greedy and charging $10, $20 for upgrades, CD Projekt Red is like, not only are we not charging you for it, we're handing out to everyone who already has it. And if you don't have certain DLC, we're just handing it out for free, even though we could easily charge $30 for this and it'd be perfectly fine. And then, of course, you have more DLC coming up. And then you have another big game coming up. And then put down the road, we don't know when, but I'm going to assume we'll see Cyberpunk by 2030. That then we'll actually be able to get ready for Cyberpunk 2. So, yeah, a lot of CD Projekt Red stuff. And it's just making me kind of sad to realize Naughty Dog's sucking ass right now. Because, listen, man, I love Naughty Dog. I think they're a great studio and everything. But, man, they've been slacking. And I'm getting tired of silence. Meanwhile, CD Projekt Red over here just making me feel, kind of goodness inside. And then, I guess I'll just briefly talk about this real quick. Blood of the Dawnwalkers. So, a couple days ago, they announced that the performances they're shooting for console. They announced that there'll be a 30 FPS mode, a 40 FPS mode. And I was like, damn, there's no 60 FPS? Then literally like almost 2 days later, I think it might have been or even like the next or 2 days later, they actually announced 60 FPS mode. They're like, we wanted to tell you guys about 60 FPS, but this is something we were working on to begin with. We didn't feel confident in saying that we could get this, done until we, a couple days later, they're like, okay, now we feel confident in doing this. This will be part of the day one patch. So there'll be 60 FPS mode. And it's like, this is why I really starting to love these Witcher developers. Because like, clearly they listen. Clearly they know the fans want to have a good time. So if you provide us good time, we will provide you money. I will be a fan of your product. And from everything I've seen of Blood of the Dawnwalker, it's probably my most anticipated game of the whole year. Just because how many fucking vampire games do we get out there? And especially ones that look that fucking good. Just being honest, man. So yeah, this is That PlayStation Gamer signing out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that YouTube RMBS. And tell me, are you guys excited for The Witcher 3 Songs of the Past? Are you going to buy The Witcher remaster? Are you buying Witcher 4? Like, let me know what your guys' thoughts on the Witcher series right now. Until next time. Peace out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that YouTube RMBS. Bye.